My name is Cody. I'm the leader of this discussion. This is Kobe, this is Colby, and this is Austin. So guys, the problem we're here to address today is a third world country's leader is coming to our high school, and he wants to get a good idea of what the average high school student is. So from these 5 candidates, we're going to narrow them down to 2, and then finally one person that accurately represents what the average high school student is. So, Kobe, what standards are you going to use to describe an average teenager here?
Well, I believe the standard teenager in America here has to be someone who is looking to fit in and is looking for their place in society.
What do you think, Austin?
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well. I think that they should work hard in school, but also have a social life.
Okay,
Then probably play sports.
Social life.
true. Alright, so guys, the next step is what problems do you think could arise when a student like us beats a third world leader? Colby, what do you think?
Well, I mean, language barrier. That's like pretty okay. And then, I mean, other countries have different customs,
for this?
so that could be an issue, and they might not understand things that we do.
Cool.
You're saying. Kobe, what do you think?
I also agree with different cultures among different societies and also different education systems.
That's a good point.
Now, next, let's go through each candidate and then let's list some pros and cons. That way we can narrow them down to 2 students that we think would work. So, and first, let's start with the first one, Ling Cho.
I think Ling Cho is very hardworking, but like they don't have a social life, so that could be a con.
Cody, why would
But-
you say that?
Yeah.
Why do you keep looking at the camera?
Alright, guys, let's focus here. Now, Kobe, what do you think about Ling Cho?
I agree that he's a very hardworking person, and I really like that kind of personality, that somebody who has a drive to succeed. But I don't agree with the fact that he spends a lot of time studying and doing all the curricular stuff. He
Yeah.
doesn't really devote time to like extracurricular activities.
He's not well rounded enough, so I don't like him.
Alright, so the next person, Carmen Solis.
I already love Carmen. Carmen's like this all-around kind of person. I mean, the grades, they're not really there, but that's okay. But steady boyfriend, very social, captain of the drill team. Boom. Big
Alright.
family.
I see what you're saying. Austin, what do you think?
I'm trying to read it. I like that she's well liked by everybody, but she's a C student, so it's kind of like that's too non-representative of the majority of the population. And a steady boyfriend isn't really something that is like an achievement.
Okay. Kobe, what do you think?
I think Carmen has a focus in what she likes to do, and I think she's a little bit more representative of an average teenager who doesn't really devote most of their time to grades in school, and more of the average population, I guess, because she's going to have to go to the local college, and most of America can't really afford a 4-year university or anything like that.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Jada Williams. Austin, what do you think about Jada Williams? What do you think are some pros?
I like how she's in like several like AV classes and president of different clubs. Even though she's considered an overachiever, that can be good in ways because it's she wants to make sure that everything's done right and done perfectly, which is good for like being artistic like she is. And it's good to show off culture it's like due to the fact that she's gonna take her to an art gallery and museum.
Alright, does anyone have any other opinions?
Yeah, I also really like Jada's sort of vibe because she is really focused on what she enjoys, and it's apparent that she really enjoys art, and so she spends her time doing art. And I really think that's what the average high schooler should be representative of, and she really just is like that.
Okay, so the next one, Bahir Haddad. Colby, what do you think about Bahir Haddad? Especially, what do you think about his fight last year after an emotional outburst?
Well, I mean, everyone has their issues, but I mean, besides that, very cool guy, debate, AB student, so that's pretty cool. He's generally well liked, except for that one thing. So.
And he's older, like he's a senior, so he's probably gonna be more mature.
Yeah.
Girls.
But I think judging by what he's been active in and what he looks like he wants to pursue is politics, and so I think he would be a very successful politician or one of that. I'll put one of these over.
Alright, the next candidate is Jacob Jones. Austin, what do you think about Jacob Jones?
I don't like him at all
Okay, why
I
is that?
disagree.
because he seems like a punk.
Okay, could you give some specific examples?
He has tattoos and drives a motorcycle and is an all-C student.
Okay.
Alright, well, it also says he's got a good sense of humor, and he started a recycling project, so that's what a humble guy. And then, you know, he's well liked by students and teachers, so just because he's a C student, like, still a nice guy, cool guy.
Okay, guys, so after hearing the 5 students' pros and cons, which 2 do you think most accurately reflects the average American teen?
I think Carmen and Jada.
Austin?
I think Bahir and Jada.
Kobe?
I also think Carmen and Jada.
Okay. Alright, Austin, why do you think Bahir would be a better candidate?
Because he's generally well liked and a B student, and he represents a lot of the high school kids who like to fight.
Okay,
So why I put Carmen above Bahir is that Bahir got suspended last year for a fight.
Yeah,
So,
Carmen's a C student,
I mean,
and she often dominates conversation, and the president doesn't want to be dominated in conversation.
Agree about Bahir because judging by the fight that he got in, shows that he can't really control his emotions, and I think
Yes.
I think people should be able to control their emotions.
so Austin, would you be okay with taking Carmen instead of Bahir?
No, I want Jada.
Okay, so
So Jada and Carmen.
we need to
Jada and Bahir.
we need to narrow it down.
Alright, yeah, I agree, Jada and Bahir.
Alright, what do you Jada and Bahir? Okay.
Yeah.
Between Jada and Bahir, how are we gonna decide which one to pick?
Well, I think since Bahir's older, we go with him.
Well, I'm thinking Jada because she's like right in the middle, like of like the high school thing, like but a little older, so she's kind of average, and like, yeah, she's very social, but also she's in AP Art, so like she's got good studies.
Jada's not social. She's generally quiet.
I think these two.
But she's very personable, and
Yes.
she's in art
Doesn't mean
club.
social.
She's in art club, and
I think these two are very individualistic, and I think they're very passionate in what they do, and I respect that in a person, and I think a lot of high schoolers are like that. But I think Jada would be the better pick because she has a more creative leaning, and I think a lot of high schoolers tend to lean towards the creative side.
Okay, so Austin, would you be okay with choosing Jada over Bahir now?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we chose Jada, what instructions do you think we'll give her? Like, what should she do? Should she try and become more like what we think of the average teen, or should she just be herself?
I
Be
think
herself.
she should just be herself.
Okay.
Just because I think she is like the average teenager, so just being herself will be fine.
Okay, well, I'm glad we were able to come to this conclusion. thank you guys for joining me in this discussion and
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
alright,
for having me.
good discussion.